So this is Danny Flexon for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten middleweight Brad Pauls. Brad, how you doing?
Yeah, really good. Cheers, mate. Enjoying a nice week off. Thanks,
Yeah,
mate.
I don't blame you. Back in action after nearly 2 years out at the weekend. Got a good win under your belt, shedded some of that ring rust, I assume. What was the whole experience like?
Yeah, it was a bit surreal, to be honest. Like, just going through the whole process of going through a fight again, like packing my gym bag, and I was thinking, what am I putting here? Like, I couldn't think because I'd done it for so long. But everything, the making the weight, the selling the tickets, just the whole process of getting in the ring, I think I needed to have a good warm-up fight before I got into a bigger fight. It did me everything I needed to get the ring rust off. Yeah.
How pleased were you with the response from your fan base? Because as you say, it's been a long time out the ring, but they came out in force.
Yeah, well, I had no idea how it was going to go because obviously you've never been in these situations before, and you think a lot of people might lose interest over the time, or they're just going to be absolutely dying to go back out again, and they would think they were just dying to go back out again because I sold out of tickets, which was 310, and then the venue was sold out, which was I think over 1,000 or something like that, but it was couldn't get any more people in there, so. Yeah, I felt really supported, mate. It was good. I'm glad everyone still wants to watch me.
Just before the COVID restrictions came in last year, you were on the verge of an English title eliminator with Mick Hall, which obviously got pulled once the COVID stuff came in. How disappointed were you by that? And just COVID generally, the pandemic, how much do you think that set you back?
So back to that fight, I was 4 weeks out when they cancelled everything. But it's always sod's law. Like, I know people say it, but I was in the gym and I was just on an absolute mission. Like, I was getting PBs. I was like, this is it. Because I don't know if you knew, but at the time, Linus was champion. He was about to fight 1 or 2 weeks before me, and then he was going to vacate, and I was going to go up to the English title properly. So we had it all planned out. So it'd be like clockwork. Linus wins, vacates, and mine gets to be for the English one. So it was set up perfect, and then cancelled. That's it. All the training goes to waste. No money, no nothing. And then the pandemic was weird. Like, someone like me, I've boxed since I was 10. I've never had a season off, and so all of a sudden there's been no boxing at all. I hated it. I've lost the plot. I absolutely hated it. Like, I proper lost the purpose. Like, there's nothing to train for, and I was like, why am I even training? Like, there's nothing happening. Like, I don't know why I was training, but it put things into perspective where I realised there's nothing else more I'm meant to be doing than boxing, because when you have it taken away, it makes you appreciate having it back. Do you know what I mean? Even going through the stuff in this camp, like making weight and all the stresses, you're sort of just happy to do it because you've gone without it. So yeah, glad it's over. We can get back to the proper boxing now, mate. Yeah, thank God.
How were you able to kind of support yourself financially with no paycheck coming in and obviously still training expenses to pay?
Yeah, so all my sponsors packed in, which was fair enough. Obviously, well shut down. And then I got a job in a special needs school in Hertford, where I live. And I worked there for a year and a bit. And oh my God, what an experience. They put me, when we like a young fit lad and that, they put me with the bad behaviour kids. So like kids with autism, and they have epilepsy and behaviour problems. So I was getting attacked on a regular basis, them throwing knives at me, trying to hit me. But it was just like, it was wild, mate. It was wild. But I did enjoy some of it. Like, some of the kids were sweet and that. So, but you got to do what you got to do to get to see me through. Do you know what I mean? I did it for a year, and then until my sponsor started coming back in, and then I packed it in.
What did you do in the school? What were you kind of teaching them?
I was sort of like a teaching assistant. So I'd sort of take them into class. I'd get them ready for school, get them ready for beds, like a carer. Do you know what I mean? But it's nothing I've ever done before either. Like, it was just because of the pandemic. Proper eye opener, man. Respect to anyone who does them jobs like all the time. Hard work, mate. But I knew I had to do it to get me to the next bit, so it served its purpose.
But glad to be a full-time pro once again, I imagine.
Yeah, just get up and go gym. That's what I like. Get up, go gym. That's it.
What's the kind of plan for you now? Because you were on the verge of that English eliminator and you had it all mapped out that the English title would have been next. Is that still the route, or direct more to British now? What are you planning?
honestly, I don't actually know. So Linus ended up vacating anyway.
Yeah.
I think, and then I think there's 2 other guys fighting for the vacant title. I'll probably have a good 10-round fight next time to get me back in. And then if someone's got the English title, I'll probably fight them. Or if there's another belt I can get. But it's nothing we haven't really spoke about it too much. I think I'm just going to have my first fight in Wasserman in December and then go from there and then see if I can get the English. But yeah, there's a lot of different belts as well, isn't there? So to see what Wasserman come up with, there's more opportunity with them. So.
And talking of Wasserman, you were one of the first signings, of course, in their rapidly growing stable. How did that come about?
In the summer, they originally obviously were signing Linus at first, and then my team said, "Well, what about me?" And then they had a little look into me, looked into my record and stuff like that. And then they put an offer in with Steve. Steve touched up the contract, 3-fight deal. Where I'll be like the home fighter, I won't be getting used and abused. And then that's it. Just sign the paperwork and here I am.
That's great stuff. What do you think they can do for your career? Because you've been a pro 6 years. Obviously, the pandemic's taken 2 years of that away. Yeah. Is this a way that you can kind of get back on track? They can accelerate your development a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think doing it on small hall's good and it serves a purpose, but you're doing it on like stealth mode, aren't you? You can do amazing things, but no one's really going to see it. But with Wasserman, obviously then you go on Sky and then the platform's probably the best one you can get. So it's going to give you more, make you more available to anyone to see you. And then with their backing, you're going to have more opportunities for better fights. So if there's any other belt I want to go for or anything, my options are just bigger now. So the way this first 6 years has gone as a pro for me, the next 6 years should be completely different, where I do get these chances and I do get the better fights and more opportunity.
When do you expect to make your Wasserman debut?
Well, I wanted it to be December, so I thought they were putting a show on in London. It might be Birmingham.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wanted it to be London, so I'm going to have to speak to my team, but I want it to be December. I said I've just done 6 rounds. I'm still fit, strong, a couple of days off, and then back out again in March. Like, I've already wasted enough time, do you know what I mean? So I need to get back to it straight away. So yeah, hopefully December, mate.
And tell us a little bit about your work in the gym. You train under Terry Stewart, of course, out there in Essex. Just first of all, actually, how did you end up in Essex in the first place? Because you're from Newquay, of course, Newquay Bomb. How did you end up in Essex?
So started boxing Newquay when I was 10 till I was 18, and then somehow got into university. Right, it was a miracle. I applied to 5. I got into 1, but I knew that if I got into uni up country, my chances of boxing would be better because the boxing in Cornwall wasn't very good. So I made it in Southampton, boxer club called Golden Ring. And they had like loads of national champions. And then that's when I started winning national titles as an amateur. I started getting a lot better. And then from there, I just sort of knew that East London, Essex is probably the best area for pro boxing. From like seeing people on TV and stuff like that, where roughly they come from. And it just seemed like the right fit. And then once I said that to Steve Goodwin, when he was my manager, he was like, right, I've got you a trainer there. And then just packed up my life and just moved it all to Essex, yeah.
Did you know anyone in Essex, or did you have anything to go to apart from the boxing gym? Like, did you have a job, or was there anything set up?
I originally moved with an ex, and that lasted about a year, and then I went on my own. But I always knew I was going to go to that area anyway. But I think it's paid off. Like with me, like we've got the Sims gym right near us. We go for sparring. All the different sparring we get. I think it's just right location where I can just get all the better types of training. But yeah, so just had to move my life up, mate, away from Cornwall.
Wow, that's a big sacrifice. Yeah. Tell us some of the sparring you've had, both in-house and at other gyms.
Yeah, all sorts. When I was when was it, that Wasserman Media Day the other day, I seen George and I went up to him and I sparred him. I was his last spar before he fought Eubank. And I seen if he remembered, but I don't think he remembered. But so I did rounds with Groves, De Gale, Ryder, Cash, Conor Ben, Dignam, Linus, obviously, that every fucking week. Who else? Cheeseman. But yeah, they're all relatively close. So it's yes, they're going to make you better, aren't they? You train with better people, it brings you on. So yeah, a few good ones in there. Groves was quite good.
Yeah, I was going to say he might be a slightly higher level than the others, at least at the point when you sparred him. Maybe not now, and he doesn't remember you, so let's not give him too much credit.
Yeah.
You share a gym obviously with Linus, and is that awkward at times in that you're both on the same path, you're both the same weight? Someone's always going to have to kind of go to those titles first, if you like. I know Linus is slightly ahead at the moment, but is that an issue ever?
No, in the gym it's not. In the gym we both get treated the same, both get the same tough sessions. Like, but I think I understand Linus might be a little step ahead of me. So there's no like sourness about it. Like as well, where like if you know Linus, he's really personable, he's really likable. So where I'm there with him and I see him go through all the training, you think one side is really happy for him because he's your pal, do you know what I mean? And he does all the same stuff you're doing. And another side, he might be like, well, I want that for myself as well. But it's never like bitter or sour or anything like that. I'm happy for him because he's doing well. But if he could just move on so I can get the title, that is. Because I'm in a bit of a queue. That's what I'm thinking.
He's got likely a British title shot next. I think it's been ordered and everything. So if he wins that, unless he moves on straight away, you really want the British title, I've read. So how will that work? You know, will you go a different route? Will you be content to wait? How does that work?
I don't know. See, this is a problem. This is a discussion we need to have. So I was speaking to him the other day, actually, and he was like, oh, yeah, I really think about defending the British title 3 times. And I was like, are you joking? I was like, you think I'm going to, what's that? That's an extra year and a half, probably, if you defend it 3 times. So I was like, you can defend it once, mate. You need to move on. So we'll have to, I don't imagine he wouldn't screw me over or nothing and keep me waiting forever, but we'll just have to see. But it's just one of those situations, both in the same boat. And hopefully he'd vacate so I'll get a shot.
Or he gets a growth spurt and has to move up, you never know.
Yeah, I'm going to start putting like extra calories in his water and that. Be like,
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Weight now.
Brilliant. And you obviously spar him regularly. You sparred Felix Cash at Sims's gym, as you've mentioned. It looks like they're going to fight. I mean, I know there was talk of Cash moving on for the European. I'm not sure where that's at. But if they do face off, and I know you can't be too kind of off the fence on this one, but just tell us how you kind of see that fight a little bit.
So I've known Felix through the amateurs, and I've watched him through the amateurs, and I've obviously sparred a lot more rounds with Linus. And they've both got their different strengths. It's a hard fight for either. There's no like, I couldn't say anyone's name. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard, isn't it? You put me right on the spot here. Linus is improving. I think he's caught Felix up quite a bit, more than Felix would probably imagine. But then Felix is more established. I think it would be an amazing fight, I tell you. But Linus has got more to show of himself that people haven't really seen yet. So I'll be ringside for that one and enjoy it.
Just tell us a little bit about your life outside of the gym. What do you get up to, and are you living on your own still? What's the, do you live near the gym? What do you get up to in there?
Got a little flat near the gym. I've got my missus up there with me. She's a Cornish bird as well, so I've brought her away from Cornwall. And basically, mate, when I'm up in Essex, it's all training, business, all about the boxing. And then when I come back to Cornwall, it's like my other personality in my head. Like I go, I relax, I see my family. Not this week, but normally I drink, might have a couple of drinks with my mates. Just might go surfing, cliff jumping, stuff like this. Wow. Eat pasties and that. And then when I go back to Essex, it switches and I'm the other person. I'm back training 100%.
How often do you get home during training camps? Obviously, when you're not in camp, you're at home. But when you're actually in camp, do you go home like every other weekend or anything like that?
Least as possible. The least I can go down as possible. As soon as I get here, it's hard to stick to the diet. The training's not as good. So, but I do 3 weeks before each fight. I go to Cornwall, and there's just one hill I run up and down these hill sprints I do, like a little checklist. I do that 3 weeks before every fight. And that's it. And until after the fights, and I can come and enjoy it properly. So
tell us a little bit about Terry Stewart, because he doesn't get a lot of coverage generally in the media. He's not one of the better known trainers, but he's been plugging away under the radar for a long time.
Yeah, Terry's a really good man. He like you might see with a lot of other trainers who are just desperate for the limelight, like they want to be the fighter. They love it. And Terry couldn't be further from that. He's has no. You ask him to do an interview and he don't want to do it. He doesn't want to get in front of the camera. He loves doing all the hard stuff like behind closed doors. He doesn't seek out the limelight, doesn't seek the praise. He does it because he genuinely just enjoys it and he likes the best for us. Do you know what I mean? Which is quite rare. You get a lot of egos normally from coaches these days, but Terry just ain't like that. And he's been around the world. He's obviously been in De Gale's corner all around the world and stuff like that. So he's not one to like name drop or I've done this and I've done that. He doesn't tell me half the stuff he's done, and it's quite refreshing really. And he's just got a good heart. He just wants the best for you. So he's a good person to have in your corner. So yeah, trains us hard. So yeah, he's good. He's a good man.
Good stuff. Now, for people that haven't seen you fight before, and you're going to be on Sky Sports soon, it'll be a new thing for a lot of boxing fans out there. What can they expect? How would you kind of describe your own style?
There's definitely a bit of power there. I can probably box a little bit more than people think I can box. Come forward like a come forward counter puncher, I guess. But I like to entertain. I hate boring fights. I like to have a proper tear up, to be honest. Which Terry doesn't like sometimes. But it's you know what you're good at, sort of thing. I just can't wait to show people. I think I've got a good chin. I've got a lot of heart. So, but now I get to show people what I'm about. So it's good.
And tell people out there who will want to know more about you, having watched this, how they can find you on the different social media platforms.
Yeah, pretty much the same throughout. Just Brad Pauls at Brad Pauls on Instagram, Brad Pauls Professional Boxer on Facebook, Brad_Pauls on Twitter. So follow me. I post all my boxing vids and that. Get involved.
Great stuff, mate. Really appreciate your time. You'll have to let us know when you've got a date in the diary for your Wasserman debut, and we'll do another interview leading up to it.
Legend, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it.